Cooper, for 6 minutes are yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Minister, when was the Prime Minister first briefed about national security concerns surrounding the two scientists who turned out to be agents of Beijing at the Winnipeg lab, Dr. Chu and Dr. Cheng?
I don't have the specific information of when the Prime Minister was briefed on these matters.
Do you have, can you advise the committee when the Minister of Public Safety was first briefed?
No, I can't. I wasn't Minister of Public Safety at the time. I have no information on that either.
You are the Minister of Public Safety now, and you have ministerial responsibility. You answer not only for yourself, but for your predecessors. So can you undertake to provide those dates to committee?
I'd be happy to ask the department to determine when my predecessor may have been made aware of this.
And the Prime Minister?
I can't speak for the Prime Minister, but I'd be happy. I'm sure somebody has taken note of your question.
And the Minister of Health?
Again, I don't speak for the Minister of Health.
No,
I don't undertake for the Minister of Health. No.
Okay. On March 23rd, 2019, PHAC received a fact-finding report that Dr. Chu and Dr. Cheng had violated multiple security and intellectual property protocols and were collaborating with the Beijing regime, including the People's Liberation Army. Why did it take 3.5 months until July 5th, 2019, before they were finally marched out of the Winnipeg lab, a level 4 lab?
Again, Mr. Chair, I have taken note of the testimony of my colleague, the Health Minister, who was here a week ago. He can speak for the Public Health Agency of Canada. I can't, but maybe the Director has some information on that specific sequence for Mr. Cooper's question.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Chair, I think in my testimony last week I provided some key dates in terms of the engagement between CSIS and PHAC that led to PHAC hire the private company to do the investigation. So I think that sequencing has been provided to the committee, Mr. Chair.
Minister, as of March of 23rd, PHAC knew that these scientists were collaborating with the People's Liberation Army. This is a level 4 lab. It's supposed to be Canada's highest security lab. It deals with some of Canada's most sensitive biological secrets. Again, why did it take 3.5 months before they were finally marched out? Shouldn't they have not been marched out the very next day?
And again, Mr. Chair, I appreciate the question, Mr. Cooper, but I'm not the employer of those particular individuals. You had the Health Minister and officials from PHAC here. I can't speak to the sequence of the employment relationship as between the Public Health Agency and those particular individuals.
Do you think it's acceptable that there was a 3.5-month gap between PHAC knowing that these scientists were connected to the People's Liberation Army and the time it took to finally have them removed from what is supposed to be Canada's highest security lab?
But again, I take the legitimacy of that question, Mr. Cooper, but I would want to understand what information these officials at PHAC had at what particular time and what they knew of that relationship. I take your question on face value, but I think one of the interesting and innovative things is by making a lot of this documentation available, Canadians have had a chance to see the sequence of that thing, but I'm not comfortable speaking for the Public Health Agency's employment.
Minister, would you at least concede that what happened at the Winnipeg lab constitutes a major national security breach and a major national security failure?
I think the whole government has acknowledged that therein with those two individuals lies an example of the kind of work that needs to be done. In my briefings with the director and officials of the Public Safety Department, in many respects, I think, and the documentary evidence, I think, bears a lot of this out, the role that CSIS played with the Public Health Agency in many cases can be a best practice.
My time is limited. Mark Holland testified that there are no scientists working in the Government of Canada labs that are Beijing 1,000 Talents program, that are part of the Beijing 1,000 Talents program. Can you confirm that?
Again, I don't want to revisit what Mark Holland's testimony here.
Well, he was unequivocal in his testimony. So I'm asking you as Minister of Public Safety, can you confirm that?
What would you like me to confirm, Mr. Cooper?
There are no scientists working in Government of Canada labs that are part of Beijing's 1,000 Talents program?
I don't know those details, but perhaps the director can answer that question.
Well, before he does, and I would like to hear his answer, I will expand the question to also seek confirmation or clarification as to whether there are any scientists employed by the Government of Canada who are in any way involved in PRC recruitment programs.
About 30 seconds, Minister.
So, Mr. Chair, CSIS, has been working with PIAC on these issues for a few years now. If there were to be any individuals who were engaged in any way representing a national security issues, I would be working with PIAC to make sure that they had the information to make the proper measures. I cannot confirm the specifics of our investigation, Mr. Chair, but I understand the concern raised by Mr. Cooper, and I share the issues of the threat that this represents.
And on
I can tell you that it would be
Beijing's 1,000
Mr.
Talents
Cooper, I'm sorry,
program.
sir, you are out of time. We'll go now to Mr. Nakvi for 6 minutes.